Sure. Hey guys, this is Spookie Pie, coming right back at you with another video. Today's video is going to be all about my opinion on a season 2 of Balance Unlimited. I would like to preface this video with a few different things. First and foremost, I'm not opposed to a season 2. If anyone happened to see a comment I left on one of my posts, someone actually mentioned something about whether, I can't remember the exact wording, either they were asking me if I thought there was going to be season 2 or just what about season 2, and I responded with I would be worried about a season 2 because I would be worried about the plot dragging on. So I would just like to preface this by saying I'm not being biased, I'm not opposed to a season 2, I'm just worried about it existing. Number 2, I am not opposed to something like an OVA. For those of you who don't know what an OVA is, an OVA is basically an additional episode that's not necessarily tied in with the plot, but it just sort of exists. So I would not be opposed to something like that, as it's just a short little tidbit thing and it wouldn't be dragging on the plot too much, I don't think. Number 3, I don't ship anything in Balance Unlimited. You cannot force me to ship anything in Balance Unlimited. I'm going to respect you if you ship something in Balance Unlimited. Please do not attack me for not shipping something in Balance Unlimited. And I feel the need to say that in a video like this because I know a lot of people, when they hope for a season 2, they're talking about, there's gonna be more Daiharu moments, like, I want more Daiharu, da-da-da. I don't ship it. I'm not really interested in seeing that, so I'm not really too crazy about a season 2. I'd be more focused on the plot than anything else, and the plot, or lack thereof, is my issue with there possibly being a season 2. Not issue, but reason I'm worried. So the thing about a season 2 is, if anyone has seen Balance Unlimited, which I hope you have if you're watching this video, the way season 1, I'm gonna say season 1 just because I don't want to keep having to say the series, season 1, flip-flop between that, so I'm just gonna say season 1. The way season 1 of Balance Unlimited ended was basically, you know, Daisuke's grandma was the bad one, here's what actually happened to his mom, here's where his dad's at, and towards the end we get a little hint, it's just like, oh, by the way, Haru and Daisuke, they're still going on missions together. It's like, okay, cool. In my opinion, that was kind of a satisfying ending. Once again, that might factor in because I don't ship anything, so I wasn't necessarily looking for anything, and I don't know, it was a very satisfying ending to me, and it felt very closed off. It didn't really feel like it hinted at anything else for me, specifically because the ending of it was, they're on this mission, here's these random bad guys, they're still being their silly selves. That's it. There was no suggestion of another villain being introduced, there was no suggestion of another plot line starting to form. It just kind of like, hey, these two dudes exist and they're still doing what they've always done. Now, with that in mind, I would not be opposed to, I wouldn't necessarily be worried about something like an OVA because, you know, it's just like, hey, yeah, they're still going on missions. If they want to release an OVA of Daisuke and Haru going on a mission or whatever, it's just like, okay, that's cool. If they want to release an OVA about what the rest of the cast is up to, okay, that's cool. But I would be really worried about introducing an entire another season, because I feel like if there were to be another season, it would exist solely because the fandom got big, and it would exist solely to continue on a series that doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, have that much room to be continued on. Now, if they were to release a season 2, obviously it would depend on what kind of plot they end up having, because obviously they can't exactly, you know, reintroduce the grandma. I mean, technically they could, but it would be a very weird setup for them to just randomly reuse the same villain. And from my perspective, I'm just not sure if I see any room for another villain in the series, because we kind of got closure. There's not really anything else left to explore or anything else left to question. At least to me, there isn't. And that's not to say that everyone has to agree with that. But it's just from my perspective, that's what I see it as, is, hey, all this stuff happened, we know what happens, this is what happens in the aftermath, by the way, goodbye. That's how I viewed the first season of Balance Unlimited. And it's one of those things where it gets a little iffy, because there have been plenty of series that I feel like have necessarily continued past their prime and they didn't need another season. I'm not going to name any names here, but just know that they exist. There's definitely certain animes that have continued where they kind of didn't need to, and that's what I'd be worried about happening with Bounce Unlimited, is it would just start to drag on, it would just start to throw random content out there, and it wouldn't really make much sense, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. And I'm not saying this to like destroy anyone's hopes or anything. I'm just saying this if I happen to mention something if I mention something on Instagram later on and I'm basically just like, hey, Bounce Unlimited is over, by the way, and then someone in the comments is like, season 2, just know that I don't think there was going to be one. And I would be worried if there was. Like I said, I would still watch it if they released it, but I would be very worried about how they would handle that. I would be worried about it dragging on, and I would be worried about it lacking depth, like I said, primarily because it would exist just because the fandom got big. That's not to say I'm not open to other people's opinions. If someone has, like, another opinion where it's just like, hey, this could be something they could do in season 2 if they decide to make it, cool, that's fine. I'm not saying, like, oh, everyone's stupid for thinking there's a season 2. No, I'm just saying, like, to me, I'd be worried if there was one, and I don't think there's going to be one. That's it. I don't know how long it's going to take me to edit this video, because I'd imagine this video is going to be pretty short, because I'm going to cut out all the parts where I repeated myself over and over and over again. But this is just a short little video basically explaining my opinion about that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I really hope this doesn't turn into a controversial video because I said I don't ship anything, or I hope this doesn't turn controversial because it makes it sound like I'm opposed to them continuing the storyline, which I'm not. I'm just very confused on how they would do so. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay spooky, guys.